For myself, wintertime has always been a mixture of nostalgia and looking towards the future. Looking back and forward, reflecting on the year I've had, what I've done, and what I wanted to do that I haven't yet. Gaming gives us lessons, a reflection of real life in a loop that can be tried over and over again. I've had my own journey filled with failures and also successes, and I want to talk about that a bit as we enter this nostalgic time of year. Failure is often seen as a negative experience, something we should avoid at all costs. We're conditioned to think that success is the ultimate goal and failure is the opposite of that. But what if I told you failure is not the enemy? What if failure is a tool that we can learn to use to learn and grow? When we think about gaming, we often focus on the successes, the epic wins, the critically acclaimed titles, and the legendary game developers. But what about the failures? Those projects that never quite made it to the finish line? Or those games that tanked in sales and criticism? I have been part of many projects like this. It's easy to brush them off as mere footnotes in the history of gaming, but I believe that there's so much to be learned from these failures. Not just for game developers or for making games, but for everyone. We're constantly bombarded with messages that say, don't fail, don't make mistakes, don't take risks. But what if we reframed these messages? What if we started saying, it's okay to fail, it's okay to make mistakes, it's okay to take risks? What if we started seeing failure as an opportunity to learn and grow rather than a source of shame and embarrassment? Game development is an incredibly complex process, and there's so many factors that can contribute to a project's downfall. One of the most prolific ones is budget constraints. It's easy to get caught up in the excitement of a new project, but when the money runs out, the team is left scrambling. Time limitations can be just as crippling. With tight deadlines and milestones to hit, it's no wonder that some projects get pushed aside or abandoned altogether. And let's not forget about creative differences. When team members can't agree on the direction of a project, it's kind of like trying to steer a ship without a rudder. Another major hurdle is the constant pressure to innovate and stay ahead of the curve. With new technologies and trends emerging all the time, it's easy to get caught up in the hype and lose sight of what makes a game truly great. And sometimes, even with the best intentions, a project can just plain fail to resonate with players. It's a harsh reality that even the biggest studios face. Who can forget the disastrous launch of Anthem or the lukewarm reception of No Man's Sky? The list goes on, but the question is, what can we learn from these failures? One of the most infamous examples of a failed game is probably Duke Nukem Forever. This game was in development hell for over a decade, and when it finally released, it was met with scathing reviews and poor sales. So what went wrong? Looking back, it's clear that the team was trying to reinvent the wheel, taking too long to perfect their vision and ultimately losing sight of what made Duke Nukem great in the first place. The lesson here is clear. Sometimes it's better to stick with what you know and love rather than trying to chase after something new and shiny. And then there's the story of Minecraft. This game was originally rejected by several publishers, and the creator, Marcus Notch Persson, was on the verge of giving up. But he didn't. He persevered, refining his vision and releasing the game to critical acclaim. The rest, as they say, is history. This is a powerful reminder that failure doesn't have to be the end. Sometimes it's just a stepping stone to success. Which brings me to the story of how Supergiant Games turned around after the failure of their title, Pyre. This game was supposed to be a grand, sweeping RPG, but it ended up being a commercial flop. The team was devastated, but they didn't give up. They regrouped, retooled, and came back with a vengeance, releasing the critically acclaimed Hades. This is a powerful reminder that failure is not the end, it's just an opportunity to learn and grow. There was a particular moment in my own life where failure led to unexpected growth and success. I was working on an ambitious game called Project Stamina, something I really haven't talked about very much or really at all. And honestly, everything that went wrong did. It was a complete disaster, and I was devastated for a really long time. But instead of giving up on myself and just falling into sadness, I was able to take that experience to learn and grow from. I was able to pivot, and from there, able to redirect myself and find a new career where I've been able to use those experiences to really help shape how I interact with my new job, and it's helped me a lot. But it's only through the failure that I was able to really understand what to do differently. In that moment of failure, I discovered a new passion, a new skill set, and honestly, a new sense of purpose. And you know what? It led me to where I am today, creating content, streaming again, and sharing my experience with all of you. So what can we learn from all these failed games and experiences? The answer is simple. Failure is an opportunity to grow, to learn, and to come back stronger than ever. By analyzing what went wrong, we can gain valuable insights into what makes not only a game truly great, but how we can apply these lessons in our own lives with everything we do to learn and grow, to move past our own obstacles and change course or persevere and do what we love. So, what's your experience with failure? Have you ever turned failure into a lesson? I'd love to hear about it. Share your comments below about your experiences. And again, thanks for watching. Falco out. Back from the dead.